No extra credit for you. Okay. What do we got this week? What was that?
That was my group. I told them the Zoom code so they could join us.
Oh,
And they
okay.
texted me back saying they got it.
Okay, good. Now none of them will come and you look really bad. Okay, let's see. How many of you have done your facility assessment? I think it's discussion board 10 or 11.
I have.
It's 10.
10?
Yes, sir.
Have most of you done it, looked at it, whatever?
I've looked at it.
Okay, look at it's enough for what we need. Did anything surprise you? Nothing surprised anybody.
Yeah, it surprised me because my office, I wrote in my discussion board that in my office, they don't have a guideline or protocol of what to do if we have a threat called into our school.
Oh, really?
That surprised me because I thought they would at least have something to do, like, you know, get a location, or while they keep the caller on the line, they're calling for police or something. And they said they had nothing in place if that ever happened to us.
So when I was in high school, it was the desegregation years of Charlotte-Mecklenburg, and we had bomb scares like once a week at least. And they'd always evacuate us out in the field where we didn't have to stand forever while they searched the school for bombs, and then we'd go back in. And it was always the same story. I would assume one would do the same thing, although I guess you don't really want everybody breaking outside if it's a gunman, do you?
No.
Yeah, that one requires some thought and would be worth adding to whatever your school's protocol is. It seemed to me that everybody's I've read so far didn't have everything in place. No one had 100% mark, and I know I wouldn't have had 100% at the time because I never had video cameras at school, and I never had a way to make sure that the doors to outside would lock, but also let people back in. So either they locked you, if you got locked out on one of the back doors, you had to walk all the way around the building to get back into the school. And the final one that I learned about this principle was chemical storage and use. You know that there's an entire big manual of how and where to store all those chemicals and how they can be used and how they can't be. Anybody else find anything in their school that was kind of glaringly scary?
I think the biggest one for us about the doors being locked and everything, and I haven't submitted mine yet, but I'm working on it. But I had typed in that made a note. Our doors are locked, but it's because of a recent order sent down from our superintendent, because we had an incident happen at a high school recently where some kids from a different, like Wake County, just kind of showed up at the school. And so it was kind of I don't think it just turned into a big ordeal. And so he said, okay, that afternoon he met with all the principals and said, from this point forward, all doors are to be locked until we can get, like doorbells in place and that kind of thing. So I was able to check it off, but had I had done it a week earlier, I would have had to say, no, doors are unlocked.
You know who will be cheating at the very first thing? You know who will be cheating on that whole process?
Who's that?
It's going to be teachers.
Yeah.
They're going to put little rocks in the door so they don't shut right, and so they can come in and out as they want. Mark my words. Mm-hmm. No question about it. You guys will be the first to go. Okay, any other surprises anybody came along? Are any of y'all from a charter school? I am. Okay, do you have all the same things in place at your charter?
We do not have security cameras in place. And because we're a charter school, we don't have designated buses for bus dismissal. All of our kids come in cars, personal vehicles, or they do like a before or after school church van.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Mm-hmm. Buses are a nightmare.
Yeah, so none of that bus detail.
One of my most esteemed assistant principals, and I'll ever love her for this, actually took our whole bus lot and roped it off and painted numbers in every slot, so that even if it was a sub bus, they knew where to park. The kids knew where their bus was going to be. It wasn't going to be at the end of the line because they got there late. or whatever order they came in. It was going to be because they were exactly in the same place. She had like a movie theater chain, you know, with the stands, so with the chain running around, so so the kids had nowhere to go. This was a middle school, so and a tough middle school at that. So really excellent way to keep everything separate. But hopefully you always have separate lots anyway. Okay, so no more excitements from the facilities assessment. Okay. The other one we haven't looked at yet, which is a PowerPoint in your notes from week 10 or 11. I can't remember the Zoom now that it was in, but it's about finances and education and where money comes from, which having charter schools in the mix makes it actually more interesting because then you have money going different ways. But the differences between federal, state, and local monies and how that determines what a district does. Does everybody know what, have you been able to find out? I've read some where principals were pretty uptight about showing budgets and where money came from, which is, you know, my last principal, I love her to death. She was a wonderful mentor. She helped me do all kinds of things, but she never showed me one peek inside her books. That she always told me that was the principal's prerogative. So, but it's supposed to be public record, by the way.
I do the budget at my school.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
I help the principal one-on-one complete our budget and all the attachments.
So you can answer the question completely, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for your school, and yours is a alternative school, correct?
No, it's a regular school, but we are the lowest performing in our district.
Okay. Then what kind of monies were split in what ways for a low performing school in your district?
We get two separate priority budgets.
Wow.
Along with Title I.
Okay.
We get school budget. Besides that, some money from the school itself. And then we also have two agencies that provide funds for our school that we have budgets through as well, several $100,000.
So your Title I budget is how much?
Almost 300,000, 200 and something.
Sounds about right. Is everybody in a Title I school, or do we have anybody here who works in a wealthy school at all? Marcella, I see you talking, but I can't hear you.
No, I was saying I'm not at a wealthy school. I have my school's Title I.
Okay.
Mom, I'm not in the Title I school.
So no, you are not in the Title I school.
Not in Title I school.
Okay. Have you seen your budget?
No, the principal would not share that. I looked at. I got some information how the budget is spread, but the actual budget, no.
Yeah, that sounds really typical. You know, it's almost nothing if you're not Title I. What you get from the state and the local district, no matter what district you're in, small one or a big one, it's not much money at all. Yeah, not at all. In fact, most of it goes for guess what? Where do you think you will spend most of your state and local funds?
On salaries?
That's done by the district, so that doesn't, at the school level. I should
Actually, we spend money on salaries with our budget.
to add to it.
Yes.
Most of our go for supplies and professional development.
Supplies. You said supplies. That's a good
Supplies and professional development.
one. Okay. So professional developments cost some, but what really cost? What will you end up paying the most for? At least back in my day, maybe the Chromebooks have taken this away. It used to be, if our budget was $30,000 from the city, 23 or 24,000 of it went to paper and copies every year.
Wait, what?
Paper and copies.
Yeah, that's where ours is, yeah.
Yep, every year. Never fails. Such a shame. But I never could figure out a way to apportion things so that it was fair, but also people got what they wanted. What they wanted was more paper and more copies. Okay, so you have your local funds, and those vary widely by district, from nothing basically in parts of the eastern parts of North Carolina to pretty decent in Charlotte-Mecklenburg or especially Wake. I think has the most in the state now. Okay, and then state funding is most of your school, but you don't actually get your hands on it. In Texas, for example, if you were a principal in Texas, you'd actually have to figure everybody's pay into your budget, and you almost get like a salary cap. So is it better to keep this 30-year veteran or get two tenure teachers, which is going to work out nice for you? But you would also have to deal with your light bills and your heating bills and everything else, which we don't do in North or South Carolina, to the best of my knowledge. Those are all assigned. You can use Title I monies to hire staff. You can do stipends for extra duties. So you get a lot of leeway with that money as long as you take care of it and put it in the right place. Okay. You may have any questions or concerns about Alice discussion boards and or evidences that you're working on? I've gotten a flood of OMAs and CAPs and SCIPs. Looks like people are pretty much on base. Any questions about any of those or due dates or anything?
No.
Okay. Everybody knows the process. As soon as possible, try to get it into the internship shell and Blackboard so your clinical coach can help you out. Make sure you get it right. Okay, next week is Easter break. We will not meet next Tuesday night. So if you're off on some great adventure, you don't need to stop and look for me. Take that week off. Then we have another one on the 10th. And I have a question. There's two things I would like you to leave with this class with knowing you need to do for yourself. One of those is join a professional organization. Right now for teachers, as soon as you become an administrator, for administrators. The other is to realize what a savings plan you have the opportunity to have if you use it. And I happen to have seen my planner today who wondered if he could talk to y'all if he promised not to sell his topic or to sell his product, but instead just on the basis of this is an opportunity that everyone in state employment should take advantage of. Promises no more than 15 minutes. What do you think? How many say?
I would be interested in hearing it.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Okay. I'm going to get him over here then.
Yep.
We'll get him over here and give him 15 minutes. He promised it been very long. I've had him in schools for years, and I've had a lot of people really appreciate both his presentation as not being a sales pitch for his product, because he also refers other products that other companies, but just that they never realized what opportunities were there. And as a retired person, let me promise you, it's well worth your time. Okay, so we'll have him the 10th. Hopefully we can hear a little bit about employee assistance plans around the state too. And then we'll move on into school to fundraising, those sorts of issues after that. Okay? I hope everybody has a great spring break. Enjoy your Easter, and I'll see you back in 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay.
Okay.